Hi there. How you doing today? I wanted to talk about my own spiritual journey today and how it kind of led me to astrology because I didn't start out with astrology. I wasn't much of a spiritual person to begin with. I grew up um, in rural West Virginia, and I was raised in a Christian household, and I was fascinated with different mythologies, and eventually this led me to learn about the chakras and the Eastern philosophies that deal with them, Hinduism and Buddhism and things such as this. And I was deeply fascinated by them, and I studied on them, and I studied on meditation, and I studied on crystals and how one can use meditation and crystals to ground themselves and balance their chakras, and from there grow spiritually and become a better person. And this journey eventually is what led me to astrology. If you don't know what chakras are, they are essentially these swirling points of energy in our bodies. They are the connection between our physical body and our consciousness. And through meditating on them and balancing them and opening them, we obtain higher levels of consciousness and better understanding of ourselves and our connection to the world. Um, an interesting place that you can learn about them easily, believe it or not, is a children's show called Avatar: The Last Airbender. One of probably the best shows that have ever been made, which is surprising considering it's a Nickelodeon show, but you'll just have to trust me on that one if you're one of the few people that haven't actually watched it. There's a specific episode in its second season. I believe it's season 2, episode 19. It's called The Guru. And in that episode, in 20 minutes, they give you a crash course on the chakras, and it's a very good starting point. But what I want to talk about in this video is a brief overview of these 7 chakras and how one can look to the planets in astrology to help focus on them and learn about them. Because when I first started learning astrology, that was one of the things I pointed out to my teacher, Kirsty, that these planets all focus on very similar spheres of influence that the chakras do. And so let's just go over those really quick. So first we have the root chakra, which is at the base of our spine, and it deals with our physical needs for survival. Do we have shelter? Do we have food? Do we have clothing? Do we have the basic needs met in our lives? And this chakra is blocked by fear, the things that make us freeze and prevent us from acting. And this is directly connected to Mars and how it works in our chart. It is our drive. It is what causes us to act. It is the ways we need to act in order to find self-fulfillment in some way. It is how we fight and work towards our basic needs. And with that, we need to ask ourselves, what are we most afraid of? And we need to meditate on that and let our fears become clear to us. We need to understand that we are one with the world and that our needs will be provided to us. We need to let our fears go. We need to surrender them in order to open our root chakra and achieve the next level of consciousness. And once our physical needs are met, we then move on to our emotional needs. And this is the sphere of our sacral plexus chakra, which is the orange chakra. It is located at our navels. And this one is our emotional needs, our source of creativity, our sexual pleasure, the emotional expressions and needs that we need in order to find fulfillment in life. And it is blocked by guilt, the things about us that we do not like. So with this, we need to ask ourselves, what do we blame ourselves for? And we need to accept the reality that those things happened and we can't let them continue to cloud us and poison our energy. We just need to accept what is and move on and understand that we are constantly growing people. And with this chakra, we see a connection to the moon. If you look at that symbol of that chakra, you see the moon in it. It is connected to water and moon, but also we see a connection to Jupiter, where we find our passions and we find our joy. And through this, we can then move on to the next level by forgiving ourselves. And the next level is our solar plexus chakra. And the solar plexus chakra is the yellow chakra located at our stomach. And this is the source of our ego, our sense of self. This is our willpower. And quite obviously, this chakra is connected to the sun. And through this chakra, we understand our sense of self identity. But this is blocked by shame and things that we are most disappointed in ourselves, the things that make us hate ourselves. And through this, we need to meditate, and we can't change the things about us that we are born with. We can't change who we are as people. We need to learn to love ourselves in order to love others. And by learning to love ourselves, that is how we balance this chakra and we move on to the next level, the heart chakra, which is green, located at our chest. And you guess it, this chakra deals with love. Once we love ourselves, we are then able to love others. And we need to accept that we ourselves are worthy of love. And through this chakra, we see a relation to Venus, the planet that deals with our relationships and how we express love. And this heart chakra can also be blocked by grief, by the loss of love. But we can come to an understanding through the journey of this chakra that through the loss of old love, new love can grow, and love is there for us in all forms. And the next chakra is our throat chakra, located here. It's the blue chakra. And this chakra deals with truth, and it's blocked by lies, specifically the lies that we tell ourselves. We cannot change our own nature. We must accept who we are, and we must be true to ourselves in order to unlock this chakra. And we can see connections here to Uranus, the planet of truth and rebellion. If we rebel against ourselves, if we rebel against our true nature, then we can never truly grow. If we keep lying to ourselves, we can never truly grow. And from here, we start moving further away from the ego and closer to consciousness itself. And from there, we can move on to the third eye chakra, the purple chakra at the center of our forehead. And this chakra deals with illusions and separation. And from here, this is where we can start to understand that we are connected to everything, that we are not individual people separated from each other, but that we are all connected together. And this chakra, we can see, has a deep connection to Neptune, which deals with illusions and mysticism and confusion. And through balancing this chakra, we can start to see the world through it is. Time is an illusion, death is an illusion, ego is an illusion. The only thing there is consciousness, which is what the final chakra deals with, the chakra at the top of our head, which is white. And from here, this is our connection to the universal consciousness itself. And from here, we let go of all earthly attachments and we become one with the universe. And with this chakra, we see a connection to Pluto, the planet of death and transformation. And that's all the time I have for